Have you ever looked out your back door, spotted your dog face down in the lawn, happily chomping away like a little furry lawnmower, and thought, what on earth is going on? Maybe you panicked. Maybe you rushed outside, pulled them away, and immediately started Googling, is my dog sick? And honestly, you are not alone. That moment of confusion happens in backyards and dog parks all over the world every single day. But here is the thing, almost everything most people believe about why dogs eat grass is either incomplete, or flat out wrong. So today, we are going to fix that. By the end of this video, you will understand your dog's grass eating habit on a level that most dog owners never even get close to. And what you learn might actually change how you care for your pup going forward. Let's start by busting the biggest myth of all. Most people assume that when a dog eats grass, it means the dog is sick and trying to make itself vomit. It's one of those facts that just gets passed around so often it starts to feel like gospel. But here is what the research actually shows: the majority of dogs who eat grass do not vomit afterward. Studies have found that fewer than 1 in 4 grass-eating episodes even result in vomiting. So if most dogs are eating grass and not getting sick, then clearly something else is going on. And once you understand what that something else is, your dog's behavior starts to make a whole lot more sense. To really get to the root of this, pun fully intended, we need to go back in time. Way back. Before your dog had a cozy bed, a ceramic water bowl, and a bag of premium kibble waiting in the pantry, their ancestors were out in the wild, surviving on instinct. And those wild ancestors were what biologists call opportunistic omnivores. That means they didn't just hunt meat. They ate whatever was available and whatever their bodies needed. When they made a kill, they consumed nearly the entire animal, and that included the stomach and intestines, which were typically packed with partially digested plant matter, berries, seeds, and yes, grasses. Plant material wasn't an accident. It was part of the meal. It was nutrition. So when your modern, well-fed, totally pampered dog wanders over to a patch of lawn and starts grazing, they aren't broken. They aren't confused. They are following a hardwired biological instinct that has been coded into their DNA for thousands of years. Their brain is saying, find the botanical matter. And their body is simply obeying. It's one of those beautiful little reminders that no matter how domesticated our dogs become, there is still a wild creature living just beneath the surface. Now let's talk about something that catches a lot of dog owners off guard: nutritional deficiencies. Even if you are feeding your dog the most expensive, high-quality food on the market, there is still a chance their diet is missing something. Fiber is one of the most commonly overlooked nutrients in commercial dog food. Dogs actually need dietary fiber to keep their digestive systems running smoothly, and many standard kibble formulas simply don't provide enough of it. When that happens, your dog's body sends out a quiet signal, a kind of silent nutritional SOS, and your dog answers the call by heading straight for the nearest patch of grass. It isn't random. Dogs are surprisingly intuitive about what their bodies need, and grass happens to be a natural, readily available source of fiber and certain trace minerals. So the next time you catch your dog grazing, instead of just pulling them away, it might be worth taking a closer look at their diet. Are they getting enough fiber? Are there any whole food ingredients, fruits, or vegetables included in their meals? A conversation with your vet about their nutritional profile might reveal something really useful. But nutrition is only part of the story, because dogs are emotional creatures, and their behavior is just as influenced by their mental state as it is by their physical needs. This is where things get really interesting. Some dogs eat grass not because they're hungry or nutrient deficient, but because they are anxious, bored, or stressed. Behaviorists call this a displacement behavior. It's an action a dog performs to redirect nervous energy or cope with an uncomfortable feeling. Think of it as the dog equivalent of a person biting their nails, twirling their hair, or tapping their foot when they're nervous. The behavior itself isn't the real problem. It's a symptom of something happening underneath. If your dog tends to eat grass when they're left alone, when there's a change in routine, or when there's tension in the household, that's a pretty telling sign that the behavior is emotionally driven. In those cases, the solution isn't to restrict grass access, it's to address the underlying anxiety. More enrichment, more exercise, more mental stimulation, or even working with a trainer can make a world of difference. And yes, sometimes dogs do eat grass because their stomach is genuinely upset. This part of the myth isn't entirely wrong, it's just wildly overstated. When a dog has ingested something that doesn't agree with them, or they're experiencing gastric discomfort, they may instinctively seek out grass as a way to either soothe the stomach lining or trigger vomiting to clear whatever is causing the problem. The long blades of uncut grass are particularly useful for this. They're difficult to fully chew and, when swallowed, they can tickle the back of the throat and the stomach lining in a way that stimulates the vomiting reflex. It's not random. It's actually a pretty sophisticated self-care mechanism. So how do you tell the difference between a dog who is grazing casually and a dog who is eating grass because they feel unwell? This is one of the most practical things you can take away from today's video, so pay attention here. A healthy, casual grazer will move through the grass slowly and deliberately. They'll sniff around, select specific blades, often the newer, brighter green growth, chew carefully, and swallow calmly. Their body language is relaxed. Their tail might even be wagging. They look like a dog who is simply enjoying themselves. A sick grazer looks completely different. They move frantically. They're ripping up large clumps rather than selecting individual blades. They're swallowing quickly, almost urgently, without really chewing. Their body may look tense, they might be drooling more than usual, and they may have already shown signs of nausea like lip licking or restlessness. If you see that kind of grass eating, it's worth watching closely and, if the vomiting doesn't resolve things or if it happens repeatedly, getting your vet on the phone. Now here is the part of the conversation that most dog content skips right over, and it might be the most important thing we cover today. Grass itself is not dangerous to dogs. But the grass your dog has access to very well might be. Think about public parks, shared green spaces, even your neighbor's lawn. These areas are regularly treated with fertilizers, weed killers, and pesticides. Many of these chemicals are completely invisible, there's no smell, no color, no warning label sticking out of the ground, but they can cause serious harm. Neurological symptoms, gastrointestinal distress, and in severe cases, long-term organ damage have all been linked to chemical exposure through contaminated grass. If you're walking your dog in an area where the lawn looks almost artificially perfect, that lush, bright, weed-free kind of green, there's a good chance it's been treated with something you don't want going into your dog's mouth. Parasites are the other hidden danger. Public grass can be contaminated with microscopic parasite eggs left behind in the feces of other animals, even after the visible waste has been cleaned up. Roundworms, hookworms, and giardia can all survive in the soil and grass, and a dog who is grazing in those areas is at real risk of ingestion. Keeping up with regular deworming and parasite prevention treatments is one of the best things you can do if your dog is an enthusiastic outdoor grazer. So let's bring it all together. Your dog eats grass because evolution told them to. Because their body might be quietly asking for something their food isn't providing. Because they might be processing stress or boredom the only way they know how. Or yes, occasionally because their stomach needs a little help. It is rarely one single reason, and it is almost never cause for panic. The behavior itself is normal, natural, and deeply rooted in who dogs are. What matters most is that you are paying attention, watching how they graze, thinking about what their diet looks like, considering what's going on in their emotional world, and making sure the environments where they forage are as safe as possible. Your dog can't tell you in words what they need. But they are communicating with you constantly, through every sniff, every choice, every quirky little habit. Eating grass is just one more message in that ongoing conversation. And now you know exactly how to listen. If this gave you a new way of seeing your dog today, hit that like button and share it with another dog parent who's probably Googling this exact question right now. Subscribe for more videos that go beyond the surface and actually help you understand the incredible animal you share your life with. We'll see you in the next one.